exactly are we?
Yeah, we are at the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, and we run the Fab City Research Laboratory, which is really trying to take the technologies from Fab Labs and try to solve issues at the urban scale.
Okay. What is the difference between the Fab Lab we're having here and other Fab Labs?
Well, I would say it's quite old. It started in 2007. It was one of the first Fab Labs in Europe. And I think something that is a little bit different is that the amount of space is really big. So we really can work from the big scale of a house to the smaller scale of microcontrollers.
Researchers, students, we have people from outside doing their own work. Martin, Ferdi, Santi, Anastasia, Luciana, Maria, Guillem, and Victor.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of people.
Can you just show around quickly
Let's go
you're
for
having?
We just recently moved our office, the Fab City Research Lab office, to this space. We're having around 15-20 people working on different projects. The main ones I would say are Smart Citizen, Fab City, Fab Academy, and Fab Labs IO.
How many people on Smart Citizen?
I would say now the team based here in Barcelona locally, it's around 5 people. That's the 3D printing area. That we call it the 3D printing lab. We come from low-cost machines to expensive 3D printers, more traditional ones.
Yeah.
This is the textiles lab. We do research on textiles, not just for fashion, but also applied to architecture and to other fields. On this area here, we have all the big machines. And if we move forward, that's the electronics lab that is also working as a class space.
We have small milling machines that you can use to make circuit boards without using chemical processes which are really toxic. The cool thing about this electronic lab is that it has an inventory of components, and those components are shared between Fab Labs. So you can design something and share that design, and that could be replicated or modified in real time in another lab. And one of the nice things that we are working in all the labs in the world is that making the Fab Lab 2.0, which is a Fab Lab that can replicate itself. We're working on the Smart Citizen, which started as a critical design exercise against the smart city. So we were saying, okay, big companies and governments coming to citizens saying, okay, we need this big infrastructure, big brother kind of thing. We will put sensors, cameras, put sensors in the trash containers, have self-driving cars, and then we were wondering, okay, what's the role of the citizen in relationship with this technology? So having the phenomena of the Fab Labs and all the open source hardware, and also software, we basically said, okay, if we want to have smart cities, we need to have smart citizens. And they should be empowered through tools, through these kind of tools, open source tools. And we started to prototype with Arduino, which is also an open source project, and start to create a sensor board that will facilitate the use of sensors by anyone.
In fact, here we have some prototypes you can look.
Yeah, pick them up. Show
them. So this is a prototype. This is the first prototype we built from the board that really was, let's say, with our logos and the brand here, and it was a shield for Arduino, so you'll put an Arduino behind it. But already had more or less the same sensors that we have now. And these are prototypes from the first industrial generation. This is prototype 2, which leads towards the board that we developed, which we call the Smart Citizen Kit 1.1, and it's that board here, the one that contains the temperature humidity sensors, the noise sensor, the light sensor, and the CO and NO2 sensors. And now we are in fact currently working on the next generation, which is going to be released soon. I like to use the word consumer, but I still think that it's going to remain open source, as we say. So it's really like a tool for empowering people in the sense that it's not just a piece of hardware there.
We're having more computer power, which is also going to help to embed different types of sensors. So one of the ideas behind a Smart Citizen being open source is can be extended, upgraded, customizable, so it's modular. Not only the software, the hardware, but also the software itself. And I think the last one, which is really important as well, is to make it more accessible in terms of price.
And you will continue using the Arduino as a platform, or do you think the processing power of the Arduino is?
We're making Arduino on steroids.
Yeah, right. So in software we are compatible with Arduino, which means that if you know Arduino, you can read our code. This doesn't mean that the hardware platform is Arduino, but the software remains being Arduino. Okay. So it's easier for anyone to add sensors that already are compatible with the Arduino platform.
Okay. And what can you learn from this data? Because these are all just bits and bytes coming from sensors, and it's just a stream of data. How do you analyze that?
Well, we'd say that what we like to provide is a tool for people to then start analyzing. No,
it's a good transition, no, from creating a platform like a Smart Citizen to actually making sense out of it.
Exactly.
And this is a European funded project. We just started in a partnership with the Back Society in Amsterdam, with the University of Dundee, with Peers Educators Network in Kosovo, and with the Joint Research Group Center, and from the European Union. So we are taking these tools that it's just technology to the next level. In which sense? We want to use the infrastructure of Fab Labs and makerspaces in the world as social places when people can start to gather and find the issues that they want to tackle using these technologies, and then adapt the technologies to deploy. To do deployments that can raise awareness, that can help to actually to put pressure into politicians, to put pressures in some different plans. No?
Yeah.
At the end, we are designers, and we started to be developers because we wanted to have a tool in order to design better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow,
okay.
no?
So that's a good approach.
Yeah, because